MJ Bullets, question, split heat. I put a dog on Oxymate B Strong. 6-7 months later, still no cycle. Thoughts, please. Well, first thing is, I don't think that Oxymate B Strong is going to make a lick of difference in terms of the dog coming in. The only thing that's going to make the dog come in is if you put the dog with another dog that's in heat. That can really help. Or you have to wait. Some dogs, it can be up to 2 years. There is a product called PG600. It's an injectable. It's actually for use for swine. You can give them a shot of that and bring a dog in. I don't recommend doing that unless the dog has missed a cycle for 2 years, because you can mess a dog up with PG600. Talking about hematoma, one of our dogs got knocked around. We couldn't do the drainage ourselves. Oh, yeah. Once home, fashioned a tube splint, applied it without issue. Your video makes it very clear. Surprised the vet said it wasn't necessary, because the vet doesn't know. If you drain an ear, because it's got a hematoma, what typically happens is the ear just blows up again and you're back to where you were before. What you've got to do is you've got to stop the blood from collecting in the ear. If the blood collects in the ear and sets up, then you get this cauliflower, cabbage-looking ear for the rest of the dog's life. The surefire way to get this done is drain the ear, take a tube, wrap the ear with some scotch tape or some electrical tape around that tube to compress it to stop it filling back up with blood. That works. Not doing that typically does not work. And as far as draining is concerned, just take a needle, and an 18 gauge works really well, and stick that needle without a syringe on it, stick that needle into the bottom of the ear, and then the blood drains out. Squish the ear back down, get all the blood out. You can do it yourself. Try hard, giving my first try for an English Bulldog. I'm on day 11, but I'm breeding on day 10, 11, 12, and 14. What do I think about that? It's okay, but I would breed on day 10, day 12, and day 14. I would breed 3 times over that time period. Give a dog a break each time. I don't think it's beneficial to breed a dog back to back. And you do dilute the dog's semen down. So that's the reason for really not doing that. So I like 2 AIs, 2 days apart. And if you don't have a progesterone test, start around day 10 or when the blood color has gone pink. Heart and Soul Bullies. Okay, so they had a problem. They're going to buy a PG machine. They don't have one yet. They spent $750 on tests. They didn't get a dog pregnant. And they want to know what went wrong. So here we go. Day 5 was a 0.16. Day 8, 72. Day 10, 3.3. Day 11, 4.3. Day 12, 6.7. And day 13, 8. And vet had to ship semen a day early. We did a TCI on day 13. So you did a TCI here. We also did an AI 2 days later. Did another. You don't tell us what kind of an AI it was. Well, first thing is, you spent $750 on tests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So apparently you're paying about $120 a test. Buy a machine, saves you money. The second thing is, I would do my first test day 6 through day 8. So that would have been my first test. Test 1. That would have told me she's still at least 5 days out. I'd have done my next test 4 days later. I mean right here. Test number 2. That would have told me that she's probably ovulated. And I would probably do my first AI 2 days later. So that would be my first AI would have been then. I'd have done my second AI and I'd have done a retest. You probably can't read that, it's off the board. I'd done a retest to make sure the numbers were, in the 20s. So I think what you did wrong here was that the vet was over keen to do tests, did a way more tests than you ever needed to do, did tests that are too close together that weren't meaningful, recommended that you do a TCI on a dog that had just ovulated as opposed to waiting about 3 days later. So you kind of had a perfect storm here because your vet, unfortunately, does not really know the process properly. There we go. Tegan Ford has a litter of orphan puppies on milk replacer. When can I swap to food? Well, as soon as you possibly can, so you can take the burden off yourself. So I would introduce them to a sloppy mix of your milk replacer and Royal Canin puppy mousse around day 3 of weeks 3.5 to 4 weeks old. If hopefully you can get into eating that so you can take the burden off yourself. After about a week, you can get rid of the milk and just have them on puppy mousse. A week later, get them on kibble. Someone just thanking me, okay. Someone wants to know how long should you leave the splint on the ear for a hematoma stay on typically? How long will it stay on typically? Well, about 24 hours because the other dogs and mum will have ripped it off. More the question I typically get asked is how long should you leave it on for? If you take it off and the ear starts to swell up, immediately get it compressed back around that cylinder and tape back up. So if you decide to take it off, monitor dog for the next half an hour, 30 minutes to 60 minutes. If there's any kind of swelling, get the splint back on. How long do I keep a puppy on oxygen for? Yo-Yo Mama asks. Well, if you turn the oxygen off and the dog is having problems breathing or is turning blue, tongue's turning blue, get it right back on oxygen immediately. Dord Gill asking about the video I did on premature puppies. Did these puppies survive? That was a long time ago. The answer is 2 out of 3 survived. Can you do this on English Bulldog? This is about pooping and giving an enema. On an English Bulldog at 6 days old. You can do it on any dog at 6 days old. You can do it on humans. Advice with puppy pricing. This is Megan McClelland. Lives in Scotland, has Dachshunds. What is the price? How should I price my puppies? Well, it's so that the things that vary would be, first off, go look at places where other people are advertising Dachshunds and see what the price range is. Then where should you be in that price range? It depends on how quickly you want to sell your puppies. It depends on the pedigree of puppies. It depends on your reputation and the quality of the puppies you produce. So it's a big variable. But go look and see what people are asking for puppies and get started at that point. And unfortunately, I can't give you any more advice than that because I'm not in Scotland and I don't raise Dachshunds. Mr. Cuban says, what colour should I be looking for to breed a brindle female in order to have the least chance of brindle puppies? A non-brindle dog. If you breed to a non-brindle dog, half the dogs will carry a copy of brindle, so half of them may likely show it. There are ways you can hide the brindle up so it's less obvious in terms of the way it looks. The brindle's still there. But if you breed to a Merle dog, Merle brindles look like regular Merles. And cream dogs don't show brindles at all, but they're still there. Somebody's asking about price on our visual fluffies. That puppy, those puppies left a long time ago. First time Kitty Roars. First time breeding to an outside stud. I'm afraid maybe the vet is clueless. Day 9, her PG was 0.2. So day 9, her BG was 0.2. She's currently flagging in my house, and I just don't want to waste money with the vet who is undercover clueless about this sort of thing. Okay, well, so the question here is, how do you know if that number's any good? Because at day 9, you'd expect the number to be more like a 5. And at a day 9, which is approximately ovulation, you'd expect this to be a dog that has a pink to clear discharge. Pink to clear discharge. So my recommendation would be this. If she's in standing heat for other dogs with a 0.2, I would go get a test done from another vet, independent, to find out whether this is a good number, because it could be wrong. Specifically if the discharge colour is turned from being red to a much lighter colour. If she's still dark red, then I would probably wait a bit. But the problem always is the single test believable or not? And look, what can happen? They don't know how to run the test properly. They gave you the test results on the wrong dog. They've got expired test kit. Those are all reasons why there's something wrong with the machine. Those are all reasons why that number could be suspect. But with a single number, nobody can tell. The only way to find out is either to wait and see whether it makes sense on her behavior or go get a test done from another independent vet. And since you're lost confidence with that vet, that's exactly what I would be doing. Go get a test done somewhere else. And I think that's it for questions. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody. Encouraged me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Frisky now, come on up here, girl.